Welcome, everybody, to the Nick Baseball Podcast. My name is Nick, and this is our first episode ever. And essentially what's going to be going on in these episodes is myself, the baseball expert, as I like to say. I'm actually not, but, I know quite a bit about the sport, and I'm going to be offering any information I can to the people, and we're going to be talking about all things baseball for as much as we can, for as much time as we can. With that being said, I'm now going to introduce my co-host, Josh. This is Josh. Who are you?
Yes, hi. Well, I'm Josh. I'm going to be offering you nothing. I'm going to be offering you I know little to nothing about the sport of baseball, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to learn along with, hopefully, the listeners. I hope that I bring forth questions that any listeners who also don't know what's going on might have. That's my goal. Again, am not here to offer much of anything other than good reactions, the occasional comedic relief, but it'll be great.
So essentially, to describe Josh and I's relationship with the game of baseball, I've been a fan for my entire life, and Josh and I met each other in college, which we're still in.
So true.
And Josh, did you have any idea in your entire life that you would ever be on a baseball podcast or even be this close to the game? Because I essentially forced the game of baseball onto Josh and my peers, and you were probably the number one example of that.
You did. This was purely non-consensual, but I've come to really enjoy getting to know the sport. I don't come from a big baseball area, and it's been really eye-opening, definitely. A great experience. I feel like it's a good college thing, but again, I had no idea that I was going to be here or talking about baseball for an extended period of time, but hopefully it'll be enjoyable.
At times, do you ever get frustrated with the amount of baseball that is in this house? We have yet to not have a game on in this house since the season started.
I'll tell you what, I start to not pay attention because I don't know anything, and so I feel like that's purely natural. But hopefully I will start paying attention and start caring, because I'll tell you what, I don't care as of right now.
Right.
So,
unless it's anything about the Ohtani situation, which we might talk about. We're a little late to the game on that, so I don't think we're going to talk about it today.
Not today. We'll do an in-depth analysis, because I do care about that.
Yes.
I think it's interesting.
And my challenge for Josh for this season, we are about 21 games in, but my challenge for Josh is to watch 5 baseball games without going on his phone once. I
was allowed commercials though, right?
Yes, you can go during commercials.
And emergency calls?
Yeah, to an extent. But the idea is 5 games throughout the season, not going on your phone while there's action. Not going on reels during the action. And we're 21 games in, and
that's going to be so hard.
And that has not happened yet.
We're going to have to get a clip of Subway Surfers to play underneath the baseball game,
right? So
that I can possibly comprehend what's going on.
Yes. So folks, it's going to be a great ride. If you know baseball, that's where you're going to be able to relate to me. And if you don't know baseball, that's why we have Josh. It's going to be a baseball experience like you've never experienced before, because we have 2 sides of the spectrum. And today, I think we're just going to talk about the hot and cold starts of notable names in baseball. And of course, when talking about hot and cold starts, we have to talk about stats. But not everybody out there knows a thing or two about baseball stats, which is why I am here to explain them to you. So, real fast, we have Ronald Acuna Jr., Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto, Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, and Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks. Who do we want to talk about first, Josh?
I know a couple of those names. This is great.
Right,
this
exactly.
Is so good.
I tried to help you out a little bit.
I first want to ask hot start and cold start.
Okay.
I kind of want to guess what that means.
Okay.
So does hot start mean that they start off well?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and then cold start means that they don't.
Right. I thought this was an obvious question, but clearly not.
Okay.
But
I wanted to clarify. Yes. I swear to God, I don't know.
If they're starting off hot in these first 21 games, give or take, yes, that means they're starting really well, pretty well. Cold, not so much. So out of those names that I gave you, who do you want to look into first?
Well, obviously, the pride and joy of the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge.
Well, Unfortunately, that has not been the case this season.
Oh, no.
So we are going to look at Aaron Judge. Now, Josh, just by looking at the computer, what's going on here? Do you know what's going on? Nothing.
A lot of numbers.
A lot of numbers.
And that makes me upset.
A lot of colors, too, you see.
A lot of red.
A lot of red, which is great for Aaron Judge.
Oh, good.
Red is good. Blue is bad.
Good job.
We're on Baseball Savant, but we're not going to be going into the StatCast or the very complicated stats. We're going to be focusing today on the 4 major stats that you'll see on any TV screen, any stat bug, any score bug while you're watching a game. And those stats are batting average, home runs, RBIs, and OPS.
Right. Okay. So the first 2 were great because they had names.
Right.
And then you started saying letters.
Oh, yes.
But I'm sure you're going to explain each.
I am.
So I won't jump the gun.
So
But I got a little nervous toward the end.
yes. So typically when talking about Aaron Judge, we're going to be talking about his great stats and his great performance. However, today that's not one of those. Today's not one of those days. So unfortunately for Judge, he has started off the season with a 183 batting average. He has 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, and his OPS is a quite dreadful 674. So right off the bat, Josh, do you know what batting average is?
Is it when they're counting when he hits the ball?
That is exactly what they're doing.
So
but there's a
great.
calculation to it.
Yeah, because do foul balls count?
No. Okay, so batting average, yes, is calculating the hits, but foul balls do not count. So a base hit, Josh, is either a single, a double, a triple, or a home run, right? You've played
right.
Wii Sports, you know?
Of course. Oh, see, this is good. That is a great tool to use because that's all I know.
Yes, and foul balls
Foul ball.
in Wii Sports, you keep hitting, so it doesn't count,
Yeah.
for the most part. It counts as a strike.
Unlimited. See, that's something that Wii Sports did not instill in me.
But it did happen in Wii Sports.
Yes.
The foul balls are strikes.
Sure.
They are, but we'll move past it.
Okay.
So batting average is essentially the percentage of time that you get a base hit. So a single, double, triple, home run.
Right.
So if I get 3 hits, any of those 4 types of hits in 10 at bats, my batting average is 300.
Okay.
If I get 2 hits in 20 at bats, my batting average is 100.
Right.
It's the amount of hits divided by the amount of at bats, the amount of
Times you're on the plate.
Yes, however, there are times where plate appearances do not count as at-bats.
Interesting.
Like, for example, a walk or a hit by pitch.
Oh.
Those do not count as plate appearances, thus
Right.
they don't count towards your batting average.
Interesting.
So if I got 4 balls, then that would mean that it does not count towards my batting average. It doesn't make it go down. It doesn't make it go up. Anytime I'm talking about stats, like I said earlier, children getting into sports, girlfriends trying to understand alongside their boyfriends, boyfriends trying to learn alongside their girlfriends, vice versa, yada, yada. If you're trying to get into the sport, these stats are for you. So like I said, batting average is the amount of hits divided by the amount of at-bats. And he is batting a terrible 183. So he has essentially gotten a hit, a little under 2 hits per 10 at-bats, which is really bad. In baseball, typically average, just going off the top of my head, not saying this is fact, but an average batting average is, hovering around 250. That's not bad. If you hit 300 for your career, you get 3 hits per 10 at-bats, you're going to the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
If you play for a long period of time. So 183 is not good. Home runs, you know about those.
Oh, yeah.
And we know that in 2022, Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs, broke the American League home run record. This year, he has 3 in 21 games, which, give or take, he's on pace for less than 30, okay, which would be the lowest of his career over a 162-game season.
Yeah, that is.
So just by saying that.
Do you think he's just like chilling? Like, do you think that he's like, I did the thing, I broke the record, it's over? Like, it's going to be fine?
I don't think he's that type of guy, especially because last year he had 37 home runs in a short amount of time because he got hurt.
Right.
He did not play in a lot of spring training games this season. He had like an he had like an abdomen issue, and they like didn't play him that much, so that can factor into it. Some people say it's his position in the batting order. Now, follow me here. So for Aaron Judge's career, he has essentially batted second like 90% of the time. Maybe not so when he was a rookie, but, since his rookie year, he usually will bat second. If he's not batting second, something's going on. But here comes Juan Soto. Juan Soto comes around, and he has the highest on-base percentage since he came to the league.
Yeah.
So let's pause and find out what on-base percentage is. So on-base percentage, Josh, is like batting average. It counts the amount of times you get on base per the amount of at-bats, actually the amount of plate appearances you have. So this time, walks do count. So if I get a walk, it counts towards my on-base percentage. So it's
right, because you're making it to a base.
Right, and getting a hit also counts for my on-base percentage.
Right.
You really can't have an on-base percentage that's not higher than your batting average or the same.
Okay.
Hit by pitches count as well. By the way, an error, so if a fielder makes an error, if they don't make the play that they were supposed to, that does not make your batting average go up just because you got on base. It does not make your on-base percentage get higher because you got on base. It actually makes those things go down.
Oh.
Because
an error on whose terms?
If you hit a ball,
right?
If Aaron Judge hits a baseball, and he hits it to the shortstop Bo Bichette of the Blue Jays,
sure,
and Bo Bichette makes an error, he doesn't make the play, and it was a play he should obviously make, and it was scored an error. That actually makes Aaron Judge's on-base percentage and batting average go down because it should have counted as an out, even though he gets on base.
Interesting. That's super lame.
So his on-base percentage is .320. Which is not great, but we're not here to talk about that right now.
So, just a statistics clarification: does on-base percentage and batting average usually they're usually around the same level? Correct me if I'm wrong.
You don't actually want them to be that close. You would like your on-base percentage to be a little bit a good amount higher than your batting average because that means that you're drawing walks. If they're close together, especially if you have a low batting average, that's not too good.
Yeah, of course.
Because
then you're just not.
You're not walking. You're not walking.
You're not playing.
Now, if you have a really high batting average, say you're batting .350,
right, and
your on-base percentage is .370, they're really close together. That's still good. An on-base percentage about .350 or higher is stellar. But all said and done, 3 home runs for Aaron Judge at this point, 11 RBIs, not good. And like I was saying, he has historically hit second, and now he's hitting third because of Juan Soto. And some people believe that his position in the batting order is the problem.
Interesting.
Now,
why?
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Okay.
Because you would think for a guy that makes $40 million a year, and I love Judge. I don't want to bash the guy. Okay, I love Aaron Judge. He's my pride and joy. But you would think for a guy making $40 million a year, he won the MVP not too long ago. He's considered a top 5, top 3 player in the game.
Right.
His position in the batting order shouldn't matter.
I was going to say.
Yeah, it just straight up should not matter.
Yeah, if it doesn't, because it wouldn't affect you. I just feel, because it's more of a strategic choice by the managers of the baseball team to offensively have whatever order they want in batting. You should be able to depend on your players being good no matter where they are in the lineup.
So now, I understand what you're saying. When I say it doesn't matter, I think he should be able to hit his home runs or get his hits 1 through 9. Okay, if he's hitting 9th, I think he should be able to get those hits.
Yeah.
However, there is something to be said about where you're hitting in the order. For example, he has Juan Soto hitting in front of him.
Right.
That is some of the best protection you could get in the major leagues because you don't want to, as a pitcher, you don't want to hit. I mean, you don't want to throw a pitch to hit to Juan Soto.
Yeah.
And chances are you might work around him, and they do often work around him because he has the highest on-base percentage in the game since he came up.
Right.
So you can't walk 2 guys in a row. So if you walk Juan Soto, okay, you got to pitch to Aaron Judge.
Right.
That's what we call protection, okay? If you have somebody in front of you in the batting order that's really good, you have good protection. A guy that gets walked a lot, the guy that gets a lot of hits, because you don't want to give up 2 hits in a row, you don't want to give up 2 walks in a row.
True.
So you would think that Aaron Judge has probably the best spot in baseball to hit out of anybody. And unfortunately, he's not hitting.
That's the thing is like, yeah, it's so interesting. Because I just expected more. And of course, I just started watching baseball when he hit his historic 62 home runs. And so I'm like, this guy, like, I'm a fan because he hit the ball good. And now he's not doing so hot. And so it's just, it's a little disheartening.
Like, I'll tell you what, okay? It's only April 21st. This is his worst start historically in his career.
Right.
However, we're only 21 games in. I'm not concerned yet. I'd say if we're in May and he's still hitting 183, then I'll be concerned. But let's not spend too much time on Aaron Judge.
Sure.
Why don't we go check on our favorite guy, at least one of the most interesting guys.
Yeah, interesting.
Shohei Ohtani. Now, I'm a Yankee fan, so Aaron Judge is my guy.
Right.
But Josh, you've been kind of fascinated with Shohei Ohtani.
I have, because apparently this is a rare. He is a unicorn, as they say.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He can do it all. This guy. He's just good at everything. He can pitch and he can hit.
Oh yeah.
Which is what you want to have in a baseball player. Extremely popular, highest sports contract in ever,
yes.
And so that I find that all really fascinating. And again, we'll talk about his current, little bit of some issues on the home base. LOL, no pun intended. But let's talk about his stats, because I'm sure they're good.
Yes, absolutely. He is not pitching this year. Okay.
Right. So he already isn't doing half of what he's known for.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. He's
good.
not pitching. He had an injury and he got some surgery for it.
Great.
As you can see, a lot of red. All these things, Josh, are good. This means he is one of the best in the game at all of these things. These are percentiles.
Okay.
But again, let's not worry too much about that. So he's only hitting. So since he's not doing everything he usually does, let's make sure he's doing the one thing spectacularly. And
of course,
spoiler alert, he is.
Yes. Great.
So he is batting .368. So now 368 is godly. Okay, it's great. It's unbelievable. For 21 games into the season, it's not too rare. Like, you will see it. But if you hit 368 over a full season, not only are you going to win the batting title, which is the highest batting average in the league,
right?
But you're probably in contention for the most valuable player. His on-base percentage is .431, and his slugging percentage is .663 for an OPS of 1.094. So let's get into slugging percentage and on-base percentage. Any clue? I mean, OPS and slugging percentage. Any clue about what those are?
No.
So
I'm going to be honest.
So let me tell you what. To all the children and girlfriends and newcomers out there, I'm about to give you such a valuable piece of information that you can actually impress your boyfriend or your father or whoever, because a lot of people, even baseball fans, actually do not know how slugging percentage is calculated. And I'm about to tell you. So slugging percentage is actually, the amount of total bases, divided by the amount of at-bats. So as you can see, a single is just counted as one base, because you just got one base.
Okay.
But if you got a double, you would multiply the one base times 2, because that's 2, and a triple is 3, and a home run is 4.
Awesome.
You add all those bases up that you've gotten, and you divide that by the amount of at-bats, and that is your slugging percentage.
So that's like, because that kind of answers the question of like, an at-bat, an on-base percentage. This is the number. This is the combination.
So this is not counting. This is not counting walks. This is only hits. The only amount of total bases with the hits.
Like real playing of the game, hitting the ball.
Yes, getting a single, a double, a triple, or a home run. And this is the stat that shows you that a double is more valuable than a single, a triple is more valuable than the prior two, and a home run is more valuable than all of them.
Because on base, they're just like, if you're on a base, we're counting that.
Right.
And there's no difference in...
Unless it's the error.
It's a single, it's a double, whatever.
Right. So on base,
Unless it's the error, which is lame.
On base percentage, it all counts the same. Slugging percentage, You're timesing the total bases for a double by 2, a triple by 3, and a home run by 4. So, there's really not a lot of multiplication to be done. You obviously know that you're getting 4 bases if you hit a home run because you're getting first, second, third, and home plate.
Right.
Dividing all that by the amount of at-bats is the slugging percentage. Now you know what that means. OPS, okay? On base plus slugging.
Oh,
yes,
that's
right.
nice.
On base plus
Okay.
slugging, folks. So whatever your on base percentage is, for example, Shohei Ohtani is 431, and then his slugging percentage, which is the total bases divided by the at-bats, his slugging percentage is 663, which is also incredible, for an on base plus slugging of 1094, which is MVP caliber, as he's won twice.
Of course.
Any questions? Am I going too fast? How are we feeling?
I'm following.
Yeah.
I'm following. Because baseball fans tend to care about stats, tend to track players.
Yes.
Is there a metric that kind of measures a team's stats? Does that make sense?
Like total.
Yeah.
Total.
Like,
Yes.
because couldn't you just say whatever team has the best amount of stats with overall players, that's the best team?
Well, what they do, okay,
You know?
if you go on MLB.com and looking at the stats, right?
Right.
They don't just have player stats; they have team stats. Okay.
Okay.
And they'll rank like whatever team has the most home runs, whatever
Right.
team has the best accumulative or whatever the hell.
Real.
Whoever has as a team the best batting average.
Yes.
And of course, that's all their averages averaged together.
Correct.
All their on base percentages averaged together, OPS, all that. So they'll have team averages, team OPS, team slugging. They'll have the amount of home runs a team has hit,
Yeah.
the amount of RBIs, and then they'll just kind of rank them. There's a lot of advanced statistics that I don't feel comfortable getting into today. I don't want to throw too much at us at once.
No, this is good.
But essentially, that is what's going on with those. Let's talk about Juan Soto for just a minute, okay?
Sure.
As you can see, he's in the red for just about anything except his base running. But we don't, we're not paying him to run the bases. Juan Soto is generational. Literally, he's once in a lifetime. If the Yankees don't re-sign him, I'm gonna have a lot of trouble sleeping at night.
He's going to have a word to say.
Just based off of my reaction and the little you've seen, what do you think about our new guy Juan in town?
I think he's great. I think that he's stolen the attention of Mr. Aaron Judge, at least
Really?
in my view.
Really?
Because he's great. Like, I am watching his at-bats, I find myself more than Aaron Judge. Because he's, again, not really hit that much. Mm-hmm. And Juan Soto hits almost every time. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. He really knows how to read the ball. And I'm also, again, a newbie. And so whenever people are like, oh, like that was a good take. Like, because I don't really, like, he could have done anything. I would have been like, yeah.
Right.
Like, that's what I would have done. Right. But, like, he's actually really entertaining to watch and play because he seems like a master at the game.
Oh yeah, he probably has the best plate discipline I've ever seen. He rarely swings at pitches out of the zone.
That's something that I don't have at dinner. Plate discipline.
He's always taking pitches that he needs to take.
Right.
But I kind of want to ask you a question.
Sure.
You think there's some sort of animosity that is being built from Juan Soto taking all this alleged attention?
I don't know, because I would be a little bit like, if I was Aaron Judge, like, oh.
I mean, you're the Yankee captain if you're Aaron Judge.
Yeah, which, again, I think that might go to why he's, like, not hitting. I don't know. It's so interesting, the fact that he was so unbelievable, and then this year, a little bit, and, like, we'll give him time. We'll give him time. Give
21
my
games.
man's time.
Yeah.
But to hit directly after Juan Soto as well, like, directly after,
Right.
is so funny to me that I'm just a novice, and I will now pay more attention to Juan Soto.
Right.
Like, immediately. And I saw Aaron Judge beat a record last year.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Time flies.
Yeah, it does.
And I just find that interesting. So I don't know. I wonder if there is something. I wonder if Aaron Judge is just like, you know what? Like, this is great. Like, maybe he was kind of sick of being expected to hit every time. Because that would get annoying too.
I think To be honest with you, I think there probably is something to him not playing a lot in spring training. If it has anything to do with the fact that he's hitting third and not second, I think that's a little bit of like a come on now.
I don't think it makes sense. I'm going to be honest.
I don't think it has anything to do with Juan Soto. I think it could only make Judge better.
Yeah. A little friendly competition, maybe.
Yeah,
But
I do think there is something to be said about that. But I don't know. It is
knows?
early. Like I said,
Quite.
I'm not going to be quite worried about him right now. But yeah. So let's move on to something that might excite Josh a little bit.
Ooh.
A little bit. Okay. So our guy, Oswaldo Cabrera.
Okay.
Okay.
Know him.
So I really don't know how this happened. Okay. But 2 years ago when Oswaldo Cabrera came up, we were watching some baseball games. We went to a few,
Nice.
looking to chase Aaron Judge's, 61st and 62nd home run. And somehow, some way, you and Cam, our other roommate, fell in love, so to speak, with Oswaldo Cabrera, or at the very least, have given him some attention.
Yes. I mean, he's a new player. He was new. Time flies again. He was a new player, young. It's so like watching someone come up like that. You're just like, oh, you just want to root for him, you know. And this year has been so exciting because
It has been.
he's been really showing up. Because when he did show up a couple years ago, it was new, exciting. Again, he fell off a little bit.
Yes.
He fell off a little bit.
Last year was pretty bad.
And so at that point, everyone was like, oh, this guy, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't really know how to feel about him. But this year, it's been great. It's been exciting.
Right. He started off the Houston series unbelievable. Let's go to Oswaldo Cabrera's stats. But here's the deal, Josh. Oswaldo Cabrera is playing third base.
Right.
And he is essentially filling in for DJ LeMahieu, who has, I think he has about 3 years left on his deal, counting this year. Okay, and he was set to be our third baseman. Mm-hmm. Okay, DJ LeMahieu has won batting titles, which means he's had the highest batting average in the league.
Right.
Multiple years in a row.
Okay.
Not in a row, but multiple years.
Yeah.
So he's been historically great. Since he signed his 6-year deal with the Yankees, he's not been the same player that he was when he won those batting titles.
Interesting.
But nonetheless, he has been good enough, and he is making enough money that he's supposed to be the third baseman. However,
Keep going.
Oswaldo Cabrera has
Yes.
burst onto the scene and has seemingly broken out and is now hitting .290 with a .328 on base, .500 slugging for an OPS of .828. OPS, like we've said, on base
Yeah.
plus slugging. League average is in the low to mid 700s. Okay.
And what is he?
823.
Okay.
828. And this is
Nice.
as of, everything that I'm saying is as of April 21st. So he is well above league average. Another quick stat, okay, all listening ears on. OPS plus. This is a little easier to digest.
Okay.
So you see his OPS plus is 137.
Yes.
So think about it like this, okay? It's just a little bit of an easier way to determine if somebody is a good hitter or not. OPS, as you can see, is the on-base plus slugging,
Yeah.
and that is calculating your on-base percentage and your slugging percentage. It's one of the most important stats in determining if you're a good player or not with the bat.
Right.
OPS, league average, is 100.
Right.
Okay, that's calculating everything, calculating how good of a hitter you are in relation to the ballpark you're playing in relation to everything.
Right.
League average is 100. Anything above that, for example, 137, he is 37% above league average.
Oh, cool.
And if he was
That's-
at 90, he would be 10% below league average at hitting.
Oh, okay.
So he is 37% above league average at hitting.
Right.
So he's been great. And he's continued to be great, especially at the bottom of the order. And he is seemingly, besides maybe the home runs, he hasn't really slowed down. Okay, he's kind of been good for the whole season so far.
Right. So OPS is on base plus slugging average. And then OPS plus puts it in terms of the league.
Yes.
And the average of the league.
Exactly.
In terms of 100, so it's really easy to read.
Right.
And you have to pay a premium subscription because of the name, OPS plus.
Not quite.
Oh, okay.
It's
free?
I'll tell you what. If you want to look at it in terms of premium, you don't see it on TV usually. They usually don't put it on the score bug. They might break it down here and there.
Oh, okay.
But you might have to look at Baseball Reference, Baseball Savant.
Okay, so it's not free. You have to put in effort.
You have to put in some effort to see it. But it's very easy to know that he is 37% above league average. Knowing this, and knowing that he was supposed to be a bench player for DJ LeMahieu.
Yes.
Okay. DJ LeMahieu is about to start playing rehab games on Tuesday, I believe. Cool. Which means he's on his way back.
Yes.
Okay. And he's making $15 million a year. Okay. He's a veteran. Oswaldo is not. He was slated to be the starter. And now when he comes back, we have a clog.
There's going to be some drama.
We have a clog, okay? Who's going to play third base? Everybody's scared that they're not going to play Oswaldo. Some people are saying to bench DJ. I just don't think that they're going to bench him with the money that he's making.
So I do want to say, this is a decision for management, but with Oswaldo's numbers where they are, better than DJ LeMahieu?
Again, this is 21 games.
Right.
If you're talking his numbers in 21 games this season, on pace for the whole season compared to DJ LeMahieu over the last few years, yes, they are better. Now, again, this is 21 games, though.
Yes, true. So it's very early.
Yes.
Would they keep him until maybe he starts to dip and then put LeMahieu back in?
See,
are they allowed to do that?
Yes, but then you would be benching a veteran and a guy who's making $15 million a year, and that's kind of a bad look. And
it's a bad look, but when you want good results, right? Doesn't that matter?
You would think, but that is not always how baseball teams roll. They don't always play the hot hand. They'll play the, the
tenured track.
Yes, they sometimes do that. But the good news is I have come up with a solution. And if Aaron Boone, if you are watching this,
absolutely he is.
This is not an original solution. This has been done before. It's essentially a revolving door.
Right.
So we have 5 positions that we're going to be looking at right now. We have first base, second base, shortstop, third base, and the designated hitter. Okay, the designated hitter hits for the pitcher.
Yes. Like
Giancarlo Stanton typically is a DH.
Yes.
Because the pitcher does not hit unless you're Shohei Ohtani. So they don't play the field; they just hit. Designated hitter. But as you can see, okay, the good news is for Oswaldo and for DJ LeMahieu is they play a variety of positions. They don't just play third base; they can play all over the infield.
Yeah.
And Oswaldo can even play the outfield.
Switching the positions for you.
Exactly. So let's think about it on a Monday through Sunday theme here.
Sure.
A Monday through Sunday kind of deal.
Real.
On a Monday, for example, we could see Anthony Rizzo at first base, Gleyber Torres at second base, Anthony Volpe at shortstop, DJ LeMahieu at third base, and Stanton DHing. Okay.
Cool.
Oswaldo gets a day.
Yeah.
Just one day off. He doesn't have to get multiple. He's getting a day off. Okay.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time. Then on Tuesday, you can have Rizzo at first, Gleyber at second, Volpe at shortstop, and then you put Oswaldo at third, Stanton at DH. Now DJ gets a day off. But are they going to keep switching back day to day? No. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think they should be because then it's very hard. Baseball players are creatures of habit. Okay. It's very hard to stay hot if you're playing every other day.
True.
The good news is the way that I'm laying this all out, somebody's getting a day here and there, but they're not getting consecutive days in a row. The next day. Now Rizzo is sitting down, and DJ LeMahieu is going to play first base because he can. Gleyber's at second, Volpe's at short, Oswaldo's at third. So now Oswaldo is going to play 2 days in a row, and now he's going to play.
And they're all together.
Right. Stanton is still the DH. So the next day, Gleyber is getting the day, and DJ is playing second. Rizzo's at first, Volpe's at short, Oswaldo's at third, yada, 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 all the way until DJ gets a DH day and Stanton gets the day off. So this makes it so that they're all playing consistently, but here and there they're getting a day. They're not getting multiple days off in a row. All of them are essentially playing 4 days in a row and then getting the 5th day off.
Yeah, very nice.
It's been done. I think we did it in 2022, one of the years we had a lot. Now, another thing to keep in mind, an injury is going to happen. So if Glaber gets hurt, if Oswaldo gets hurt, if DJ gets hurt again.
Was that a threat?
If Rizzo gets hurt,
right.
then this problem solves itself. Because then you just have DJ play wherever somebody gets hurt, Oswaldo play wherever somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
Oswaldo could also give Verdugo a day in left field and play left field.
Yeah.
That is a possibility. So I'm really not concerned about this, even if they don't do the method that I just brilliantly laid out.
Yeah.
I'm not really as worried as I thought I was because we have so much versatility with DJ and Oswaldo. They play almost every position except DJ doesn't really play the outfield. And the good news is Anthony Volpe will play every day still.
And
So that's the good news.
Yes. And also, Oswaldo's record and effort and achievements will not go unnoticed. It's not like they're going to send him back to the bench.
Right. No, they won't do that. His versatility is so valuable in this situation. However, then while this is happening, while this revolving door of infielders is happening, then you can start to look at who is playing well. Because then if Oswaldo isn't real, I hope he's real. I hope 828 is real. If he's not, then
fake.
If he starts to be what he was last year,
right,
then you can feel comfortable sitting him down, especially if DJ is playing.
Right. Putting in all that effort and time.
Yeah, seriously.
Crazy. Just keep it up.
So I'm not really worried. I don't think anybody has to be worried about
I'm not quaking in my boots.
The Oswaldo situation. So, that's what I got in terms of that. I think everything's going to work itself out. And
cool.
Just like it happens all the time in baseball, somebody will get hurt. So it really doesn't matter.
We'll make sure of it.
Right. I think I've wasted my time actually breaking that down for you because by the time you're hearing this, an infielder might be hurt already. Right. In which case, none of this matters.
Crazy.
So I think it's time for a little Josh quiz, in my opinion.
Okay. Yikes.
So now
was I paying attention?
We're going to take what we have learned for Josh and, just give him a kind of a good or bad quiz. That's all all I want. That's all I want from Josh. So I'm going to go on Baseball Savant. Well. Okay.
Oh.
And I'm going to give you the stats of a player so far this season.
Okay.
Okay. And I want you to tell me if it's good, bad, atrocious, or excellent.
Okay.
Marcell Ozuna of the Braves.
Okay.
Okay. So far this season, he is hitting .342 with a .409 on-base percentage, a .722 slugging percentage, and an .1131 OPS. Is that good, bad, stellar, or atrocious?
Isn't it good?
So it's quite good.
Oh, okay.
It's stellar.
Bordering stellar.
Oh, no, it's unbelievable.
Okay.
So anything...
So it's good, though.
Yes.
Mostly.
It's good. It's quite good.
Yay.
OPS in the 1000s, in the one dots.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Oh, okay, right.
That's MVP.
One.
Slugging percentage in the 700s doesn't happen through a full season. He's hitting .342. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. He has 9 home runs. He leads the league.
Okay. OPS plus?
Let's take a look.
Hit me with the plus. That'll make it easy.
Give me 1 second. Marcell Ozuna from the Braves. 195. So what does that mean?
It means that he's 95% good.
It means
over his team.
He's 95% better than the league average hitter.
So he's eating.
Oh, he's been 8.
Yes.
But let's keep going. Corbin Carroll of your Arizona Diamondbacks.
Okay.
He is hitting .216.
Okay.
With an on-base percentage of .330, a slugging percentage of .273, and an OPS of .603. Good, bad, atrocious, or stellar?
Good. Like fine.
See, this is
bad.
I think we're going to have to work on our studying a little bit. I'd say it's bad. I'd say it's bordering on atrocious. It could be argued that
Really?
it's atrocious. So he's hitting 216.
That's not good.
Remember, I told you earlier, 250, give or take, is like you're an average hitter.
Right.
Batting average wise.
Yeah.
His on-base percentage is not bad. It's 330.
Right.
Okay. His slugging percentage is 273.
Right.
His slugging percentage is so close to his batting average, all he's doing is hitting singles. He's got one home run this season in 21 games. And this guy that hit like over 20 last year. He had 25 home runs last year, which is really good. He won the Rookie of the Year last year. He's an outfielder for your Diamondbacks.
Right.
He's not looking too good this season whatsoever.
We're going to keep it up, though. I believed in him. I thought he was doing good no matter what.
I want to kind of give you... okay. We're going to go stat by stat with this one.
Okay.
Mike Trout.
Yes.
Michael Nelson.
Yeah.
He is batting 244.
That's bad. It's like... It's...
I should have given you a mid option.
Okay, it's mid.
It's mid. I'll tell you what. For Mike Trout, it's not great.
Yeah, I was going to say. It doesn't seem...
It's not Mike Trout.
Right.
It's not what Mike Trout does, historically.
No.
On-base percentage, 323.
Like, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what his batting average is, it is fine because it's about 60 points away from his average, so he is walking.
Yeah.
He has 9 walks on the season, which is nothing incredible, but it's doing okay. And if his batting average was higher, his on-base percentage would only be higher. So his on-base percentage, yes, is okay. His slugging percentage, I don't really feel comfortable asking you this because I didn't really explain it, but let's try it anyway. His slugging percentage is 581. Now keep in mind, Corbin Carroll's atrocious slugging percentage at 273. So his is at 581.
But this is only okay.
Mike Trout?
Yeah.
I'd say this is quite good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 581 is great.
Right.
You can win an MVP with that.
Oh.
And his OPS is 904.
Okay.
What are we thinking about that? Remember, Oswaldo was 828. Mike Trout's is 904.
Right. So that's good.
Yes, great.
Yeah, great.
Anything in the 900s, folks, anything in the 900s is incredible.
Right.
Like I said, in the 700s for OPS, that's average to good.
Yes.
800s, you're an all-star. 900s, you're incredible, bordering on MVP, if not the MVP. 11 in the thousands.
Right.
In the thousands, if you're not winning the MVP, somebody else is having a historic season.
So how can one be so mid and so good at the same time?
Mike Trout?
Yes.
So, he's actually... This is the funny thing about Mike Trout. His 904 OPS would be the lowest of his career over a full season, not counting last year where he only played 82 games.
Right.
But 904 is still really good.
Yeah.
His batting average is low, especially for Mike Trout, but his slugging percentage is so high. He's hitting so many home runs. He has 8 on the season already that his slugging percentage is carrying him to that 904 OPS, which is still good. If you have an OPS in the 900s, it doesn't really matter how you got there.
Right.
Okay. Especially nowadays, some of the baseball nerds will tell you, especially, we don't care about your batting average. I disagree. I don't want Aaron Judge hitting 183. I don't care if he had 40 home runs. I don't know if I'd go the Kyle Schwarber route. Some people know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what he's talking about.
But I don't want to go into too many tangents. But
right.
That will be our final Josh little
good
summative assessment.
I would say that I just did so average.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Performance.
We're getting better. I need some feedback from you.
Sure.
How am I doing on explaining these things?
Pretty well.
How can I get better?
I don't really know. I mean, I also find it like statistics are interesting because, of course, it's the beginning of the season.
Right.
And if the team especially doesn't seem to like, I'm more of interested in the concept of caring about statistics. If you have a favorite player, I understand tracking their momentum.
Right.
I would be more of a team guy. Like, oh, I want to know what team is the best. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I always root for the winners, because then, that's always fun.
Right.
But, I just find it like, because baseball statistics are tracked very closely.
Especially because they play every day. They literally
Yeah.
change every day.
Every day.
That's why you can't put too much stock in what's happening
Exactly.
so far. I'm not going to ruin my life because Aaron Judge is hitting 183.
Yeah.
And I'm also not going to get incredibly excited that Oswaldo Cabrera is doing so well.
Yeah. But at least when the numbers come up on the screen,
they
I
look,
kind of understand what's going on.
yes.
And it could be like, yeah, it's nice knowing where the players are at, I suppose.
And I'll tell you what, these stats, all of them are already calculated on pace for 162 already. Because your batting average, if it's 244, you're on pace to keep it at 244 because it's your average.
Right.
Home runs, it's easy to calculate on pace just by doing some division. But all these stats stretched out over 162 you're on pace for all those stats. Aaron Judge is on pace for a 183 batting average, but if he goes on one of his streaks like he usually does, everything will be okay.
He'll be back.
We'll have a much better grasp on individual stats come the summer. But I think that's all we have for today. I think we're going over a little too. We're going all over the place. A lot of stats getting thrown in everybody's faces. Hopefully, not too
fine.
much to digest.
Yes.
But that'll be all from us. You got any closing remarks, Joshua?
I don't. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to my opinions, my humble opinions and questions that may sound like buffoonery to some. But to others, I feel like these are valid questions. And I'm shocked that I even have the capacity to understand what's going on at this point.
Right.
Because I don't think that I would have a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. I just wouldn't know what anything was.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you're here, Josh, because for those of you out there that are in Josh's shoes, you're taking this ride with him.
Yes. We're in this together.
Right. This can be this could be great for anybody that has any sort of knowledge in baseball. You don't have to be in the dark.
No longer.
Because Josh is in the dark as well, but he sees the light and he's coming out of it. But yeah, if this is out there, do what you have to do with those podcasts. Save them, subscribe to them, like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do they do nowadays? I have no clue.
They're smashing like buttons and hitting notification bells like you wouldn't believe.
Well,
so I'm sure you could do that.
right. If you have the opportunity to do so, then I would do that. But that's just me. But that'll be all.